And we're going to get started with Mr. Chris Jargo, the Director of Career and Technical Education, speaking to all of us about career and technical education in middle school. It's never too late to start. Take it away, Chris.
Hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate being invited and able to speak to all your parents. In our chat today, I've placed a link to the website for career and technical education, and we always abbreviate that as CTE. So if you hear me say that, I'm talking about career and technical education. So I'm going to show you some portions of our website today and kind of talk you through career and technical education for about 15 minutes. So at 6:45, I'm going to stop talking, and then we're going to monitor the chat. I'm going to go and answer as many questions as we can. So if you have a question, you can put it there at any time, and we will do our best to get to all the questions. So today we're really focusing on middle school. I noticed in the chat, some of you were putting the grades that you're in. If your student is in 5th grade and about to go to middle school, hopefully you'll be able to hear some information as well. We're going to speak kind of generally about the school district, knowing that our middle schools look different wherever we go. But of course, a traditional middle school is a 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, but some of our schools have a K through 8. The career and technical classes are electives, which means you choose them. You don't have to take them. And they start in the 6th grade. They can go all the way through high school and even into what we call post-secondary after high school is over. So our career and technical classes, if you are a 6th grader, hopefully you have a chance to be on the wheel, which is technically called the career, research, and decision making. So all of our middle school students will start career, research, and decision making and get to take that for the first half of their 6th grade year. Right before the end of the calendar year, the students should be picking what they want to take in the 2nd semester of 6th grade. And then as they get ready later in 6th grade, they'll get a chance to pick 7th grade, and then a year later, 8th grade. So each of the tracks in career education should have courses that can be taken each of the years and get increasingly more difficult, and then advance into a potential high school program, no matter where the students go. So career and technical programs are at most of the middle schools. Hopefully they're the ones where your students are going right now or going in the future. The types of programs in middle school would include our culinary program, our computer technologies, our robotics. We also have some health science programs and many agri-science programs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some of the names of the career clusters so you can get in your mind the types of areas that our courses are in. So I'm actually going to share my screen and click around to some different elements here of my screen. So this right here is our list of career clusters. You can see that they run the gamut from agriculture all the way down to transportation. And in middle school, we have most of these topics, and some of them are more challenging, so they're offered in high school, but the middle schools lead up to them. As I told you earlier, we have the agriculture, food, and natural resources. That's at many of our middle schools and gives students a chance to be hands-on, often outside in a land lab with a variety of different animals they may be taking care of, growing various crops, and studying soil. They also have some wonderful communication lessons that they learn so that they not only can obtain the information about agriculture, but be able to communicate that to one another, but also to the public. We have many courses in business, and in business management administration, we teach students the basics of using computers for business purposes, giving them the Microsoft Word and the Excel, the PowerPoint, and also advancing them into other topics, including computer programming. That's going to get them ready for classes like advanced placement when they get into high school. We have a number of health programs in middle school, specifically a magnet program at SLY, where students can apply and have a 3-year unique experience that not many middle school students do, learning health science and potentially building a track to our high school, which is Tampa Bay Technical High School with an Academy of Health Professions. We also have many information technology courses that often tie into the business classes I talked about earlier. And in our kind of STEM area, we have quite a few robotics courses. So those are courses where the students will be hands-on designing robots. It might be a Lego system, it might be a VEX system, and they're going to be in opportunities for competitions in the school, potentially outside the school, and leading into some very advanced high school level topics, including a magnet program of engineering at Middleton High School that they could potentially apply to. So you see that these career classes run the gamut. These are very different electives and some other things you may be doing in middle school, such as art electives or musical electives or even some advanced academics or like an AVID elective. These are the family of career and technical education, or CTE. All of these will give the student an opportunity to participate in what we call work-based learning, which in middle school looks like CTSO, Career and Technical Student Organizations. Students get to apply the knowledge that they've learned in competitions that are outside the school. And we have a grant which is able to provide transportation to many of our students, not all, but many of them, to participate in these types of activities, local, statewide, and sometimes even national activities, especially at the high school level. All right, so I'm going to change over to our website, which I did show you, and this was showing you a link from our website, which is, of course, hillsboroschools.org/career and technical. You can kind of see the overview here where we have opportunities for our course curriculum, our industry certification, our student organization. So right now I want to focus on something we are doing in middle school, which is our industry certifications. So you may not know this, but a certification is a test typically that's standardized across our state, maybe even across our nation, that when a student passes it, it gives them the documentation that they really have mastered a certain topic. These certifications are great as they start to build their resume for high school and then potentially the workforce. And also our middle school students have an opportunity to kind of advance themselves and go on a track of earning certifications that get more and more difficult, sometimes called like a stackable credential. We have certifications in middle school in what are called digital tools. So they may be some word processing, some computer science. We also have agriculture certifications in middle school and many information technology certifications. Now, it is important to know that some of our middle school students actually take high school class as an 8th grader. And that gets them on a great track to start earning credits that are going to count potentially towards high school or various other opportunities. And even if they don't count toward high school credits or high school graduation, it is preparing them for the type of learning, the type of challenge that they're going to need to do when they're in high school. So this website here has a number of resources on it. In fact, one thing I wanted to be able to show you under the resources tab, which I'm going to go to right now, is our operations dashboard, which is great because it gives us a visual aid. Now, I know we're talking about middle schools today, but as you're in middle school, what you want to be doing is thinking about what high schools you potentially could go into. Middle school CTE is all about exploration, and high school CTE is about going deep and focusing on a topic. So you can see this map here has a number of our schools on it and what it allows you to do. Let's say you were really into business or information technology. I'm going to click this right here. It's going to show us with a blue dot the high schools that have that as an opportunity. And many of you might be interested in a culinary, which is a hospitality tourism program. You can click that, and once again, you will have some dots there to show you. And then you get that visualization of where you live versus what schools are out there. Now, just to give you kind of a big picture, whether you have a 5th grader or potentially a middle schooler going to high school in the future, each of our students who live in Hillsborough County have a school assigned to them based on their address. Some of our schools have a choice or magnet opportunity. And later on this fall, there'll be more information coming out about choice and magnet for the following school year. So our career programs, our CTE programs, are on the choice and magnet process in some cases in our middle schools and our high schools. In fact, the #1 school that has the most career in tech is Tampa Bay Technical High School. So I want you to know that all of our high schools have some career in tech. None of them have all because we have so many programs. But we do have that one, Tampa Bay Tech, where it has the most and everyone must apply. So as you're thinking about what you're doing in middle school, prepare yourself. You have that forward mindset of what is going to be done in high school. Okay. So that's one of our pages here, and we're looking forward to making an update to this very soon with even more information as we look to 22-23. It's going to be here before we know it. And I wanted to share with you some pictures from some of our events that we've done recently. So this is one of the things, like I said, we try to do work-based learning activities, which allows the students to exit the actual physical classroom, the 4 walls, get out there into the community, and we have workforce type events. Now, in the middle school, most of our events are, like I told you, those competitions, or we'll do what's called career exploration visits. We'll partner up with a business. So for example, information technology, we may have a company that has a lot of computer technology and bring students on campus to basically learn a little bit about what those programs are like. We'll do more of that in high school, but we'll have some instances of that in middle school. And I wanted to share with you some of the exciting events, get an idea here as your student starts to prepare for the workforce. The number one thing we hear is we want to work on their soft skills or their communication skills or professional skills, you may call them. So we give students opportunities to dress up, to go and socialize, and actually meet adults that are interested in hiring them. We've done some events in the construction industry. What's interesting about CTE is some think it is only for students who are not going to college, but the reality is everybody is going to want to prepare for the workforce. So CTE is all types of careers, some that you can leave, right out of high school and go into. Some of you need to go to post-secondary. Some of you might need to go to a university or even a postdoctoral degree. But in our middle and high school programs, we are going to prepare students for a wide variety of jobs, including those that are in demand, such as the construction field, which is very hands-on. You can see we'll have now, of course, these pictures are from pre-COVID, so you see it's very busy and they don't have on a mask. But this is hopefully in the future, we'll be back to a very engaging, exciting, dynamic type of setting that we build with some of our CTE and career technical events. And you can see sometimes, actually, I'll go back right there. You see, you may all know Mr. Titus O'Neill is in this picture. We often have community leaders come to our events. In fact, that was our governor at the time, of course, Governor Scott. And that is one thing that if you're going to be continuing a career or creating a career, you are going to want to have networking opportunities where you meet others and you have a chance to talk about the things that you've learned. So if you're a middle schooler, you're building those basic skills. You're thinking about where you're going to go to high school. And then as you get into high school, you'll kind of consider more about, where will you go to college or what career will you go to right after high school. And one of the things we've noticed in our industry, think about what you see as you drive around, is so much construction. If you live in the south part of our county, you may see that with a lot of houses being built. If you live more in the city of Tampa area, you may see that with big buildings being built, whether it's condominiums or hotels. And so we're thinking about, how do we teach our middle schoolers and eventually our high schoolers the careers that actually will, number one, be hired, but number two, have some great wages. And while some of these industrial jobs, these trade jobs are outside, they may be in the heat, they may be strenuous, they're often very rewarding because some people really enjoy a hands-on job and they want to have something that they could build a career moving from kind of entry level into management and into supervision type jobs. So with that, that's kind of what I wanted to share with you. And I wanted to leave lots of time for questions because I know we're going to have very many questions. So I'm going to leave us back on our website here. I'm going to stop our share and I'm going to go back to our Zoom, and I'm going to be quiet here and let Ms. Fullwood, if she wants to narrate any questions that she's seen in the chat.
Yes, thank you so much. They were saying it's such valuable information. So there is
I
a
think you're
question.
on mute, ma'am.
Oh, I'm still on mute?
No.
Oh, okay. You hear me?
I hear you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm good. Yes, I'm good.
Okay.
Go ahead.
There is a question. If a student did not have the opportunity to start that wheel that you were speaking about in 6th grade, can they start it in the 8th grade?
Well, I would be curious to know where maybe they joined our school district as a 7th or 8th grader, but every school should have a 6th grade wheel. There may be some exceptions. Sometimes in our K-8, there's a small number of middle school students, so they may have a different scheduling model. But in terms of the question about having a wheel in 8th grade, no, we do not do that. And that's because that requires a full schedule system of all the students. You can't just have one student rotating around. And really in 8th grade, we are starting to have either the high school credit class or the half credit advanced type CTE class. So no, we do not have the wheel at that point. However, that's the time where if you're an 8th grader, you're thinking about, and really 9th grade applications could start as early as late October, November. What do I want to explore in learning about opportunities for high school? And that's where I would advise you to engage with our Choice and Magnet office, who does a lot of outreach to 8th graders to hear about what's happening for future high schoolers.
Thank you for that. And then we had a lot of questions about the map and I know you showed us on the map and on the website. Could you just go through it one more time just to give people an idea of how to get to that map to show the schools?
Absolutely, absolutely. And in fact, what I will do, the map is a link off of our website, but I'm going to actually give you the link directly in the chat. Let me see if I can work that out here and put it right here. Here we go. Okay. So if you click that, you can go on the map on your own. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit so that we can see here. Okay. So on the left-hand side, we have our career clusters, the ones that I showed you and walked through with you. Primarily in middle school, like I said, we focus on agriculture. We focus on culinary, which is part of hospitality tourism. We focus on information technology, and which includes our computer classes and also our engineering and robotics classes. In the second panel, we have all of our high schools, which hopefully, based on your address, you'll know which one you are zoned for. And then we'll have a little dot here based on what you click. So in this case, let's see if I wanted to go click, where do we have the marketing classes? Okay, they'll kind of pop up here with a blue dot. If I want to switch up and say, where are the construction classes? Well, there's actually a lot less of those. So you see less dots come up there. And then on the right-hand side, it'll actually bring up the school's street address and phone number, along with a website link and a kind of a yes or no as to whether they have each of those career areas. So hopefully with that link, you can go through and check out the map at your own pace.
Thank you. I have another question. What specialties are available under health sciences?
Well, that's a great question. So at Tampa Bay Technical High School, the students will start on some common core, not common core the program, but a common set of courses that are in health. And typically, as an upperclassman, as they get closer to graduation, they will specialize in different areas. They do have a dental program. They have a medical lab called Med Lab. They've had a nursing program in the past. They've had actually a mental health program. So I would advise you to go to their website. In fact, I think what I'll do here, and since I have an opportunity to share, is once again share this, and we will go to my TBT. See if I can make sure I remember the website. It is my www.mytbt.com. Let me see if that is the one I was thinking of. Yay, there it is, mytbt.com. And you can check out the Tampa Bay Technical High School, including on their programs, their Health Academy. And we'll check it and see here. They do a wonderful job. They call it the Academy of Health Professions, and they have so many different things. In fact, here they've also got listed, I'm going to zoom a little more, allied health, cardiovascular assisting, dental aid, mental health and wellness, medical laboratory assistant, emergency medical responder, radiology, physical therapy and occupational therapy, sports medicine. And so those are quite a wide variety that is offered at that school. And there is health at a few more schools. In fact, the program growing the most is our exercise science program that's at a few other schools besides Tampa Bay Tech. But that's kind of the website that I would advise you to take time and go into depth. And I'll see if I can put that here in our chat, which is www.mytbt.com. And that'll take you to their website.
All right, so I saw a good question in here also about can you graduate with an AA with any of these certifications?
Okay, so that's a great question. Typically, the career and technical classes we're giving are what we call a secondary class, a high school class. Some of our classes are career dual enrollment. So you're enrolled at two places, high school and a technical college. That is not where you would get an AA. The AA is typically the type of academic dual enrollment where you are enrolled with the state college, which is HCC, Hillsborough Community College, as well as the high school. So we do have collegiate academies that are outside of our department, but they are part of our choice process that you can read more about on our choice website. And they do have the opportunity to gain lots of dual enrolled credit. Some have a career focus, but many are core academic type focus in those programs. But our opportunities are mostly around career dual enrollment. However, we have a couple of things, like we have a partnership with Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. So that is a focused program at a university that we do work with. We're offering that at Robinson, Steinbrenner, and Jefferson as an example. But the majority of that academic dual enrollment that would move towards an AA would be in a collegiate academy. One comes to mind is Armwood, but there are a number of them that you can observe on our choice website.
All right, here's a good question that kind of sort of goes with that one. It says, can high school kids take industry certifications at HCC so it will cover the cost, or are these available in Florida virtual school?
So the industry certifications that we do in our middle schools as well as our high schools are paid for by the school district for the students. There is no cost to the students to take it. This question says, can kids certifications go to high schools, not through HCC that was connected to us? They may move on and take these certifications, but when they're taking the certifications, they are taking them as part of middle school classes and high school classes. They may be on campus at our middle and high schools, or in some cases, they may be at third-party testing centers that they have to go off campus. It does depend on what program they're in. And in terms of covering the cost of these available in Florida virtual school, what we're working with in Hillsborough County Public Schools does not directly connect with Florida virtual school industry certifications. We're offering them through our high school and our middle school programs that are district managed, the traditional brick and mortar schools that you see around the county. For a Florida virtual school question, I would advise you to do some research with that organization, but I don't have additional information on that.
Thank you for that. And then we have a question. When do typically these programs start?
That is a great question. I see that you came from New York, so welcome to Florida. And they start the first day of school. But certainly, because these are classes, just like if a student in middle school was going to take a PE class or a music class, they're happening every single day. So when a brand new student enrolls in our district, they're going to be scheduled by the office for whatever. There's a lot of considerations for academic needs, but if it works for them, they could jump into that class right here in September, or whatever time they enroll at the school. And then a little bit later down the line, let's say towards January-ish, they'll start picking what class they're going to have for the following year. So they joined us as a sixth grader. They may come in and pick us for the following year. It says that the daughter has band and culinary, but I do think that's a different. I think that's a different person than the first question. But generally speaking, when the brand new student enrolls, they'll talk to them about the electives at the school. And, then if it's too late for them to join that year, then hopefully they'll have a chance to join the following year.
Okay, and then I'm going to ask these two questions in one. How can I know, how can the child get transportation to any of those schools? And then which options are available for special needs students?
Okay, I'm going to answer that. I wanted to also, as I do that, because it connects with what you got here, I'm typing in a website of hillsboroschools.org/choice. And that gives you the overall choice and magnet program, which includes CTE, but is actually much broader. It has the advanced academics and it has the artistic type classes. So the question about our exceptional student education, yes, those students, depending on their IEP and depending on the folks who work with them and guide them, have the eligibility to take the career and technical courses as part of their schedule. So I would advise them to check with the counselor that they work with, the administrators, or the staff that supports them in the IEP team, and see what courses are offered at that school. And I have my email address as my name here. So if you want to talk specifically about which school that student goes to, I can then show you what classes they have and specifically answer any questions, and also provide you contacts that are specialists in exceptional student education so that we can make sure that your student gets the services that they deserve. The other question about transportation, that's one reason I want to point you to that choice website. There's lots of information out there, and our office is not the experts or the communicators about transportation options. But we like to say the choice office will help you apply and get in. And once you're in, our office will support your student through the teacher. And that means we give the teacher their training, all their materials, all their equipment. We manage a $2.5 million grant called Perkins, Carl D. Perkins grant, which puts items into the classrooms or provides the experiences that I was talking about with, outside the school. And so we will handle the operation of the class once it's begun. But that choice office is great about how do you apply, and if you do apply, what kind of transportation options are available for the student. So as with those two individuals, exceptional student question, the choice question, you all can contact me on that email, and anyone else from before also welcome to, and I'm happy to call you right back. I'll be in my office most of tomorrow. We could touch base if you want to get into depth on your questions.
All right, and then here's the last question: in which middle school grade could students start to get those those industry certifications? What grade?
Great question. We actually start in the 6th grade with our digital tools, which are designed. They're at a more achievable level for them. And then those students could take them in 6th and 7th and 8th. They all have a digital theme. They're a computer type certification. In our 7th and 8th, we do have some more in the agri-science and the robotics area. We do not really do culinary certifications in middle school. That's more of a high school level. But definitely the 6th graders can start with those digital tools and build a foundation to the more challenging ones later in middle school and, of course, in high school.
And I see one more. I'm sorry, I missed this one in the Q&A.
Oh, you went muted, Angela. You went muted.
Sorry, I hit the button. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's say my kid does the radiology program. What will he end up with? What title? And will he have taken requirements to qualify for Bright Scholars? That's a good question about Bright Scholars.
So each of our certifications in health science, there's a little bit different of opportunities. We have an individual that I'm going to put right here. I'm going to put her email. Her name is Andrea Beverly. And Andrea Beverly is a nurse. She is also a PhD. She's a doctor. So it's Dr. Andrea Beverly. And her email is andrea.beverly@hcps.net. So my role is all career areas. Her specific job is health science, along with our education and our criminal justice. So in terms of the credential that our I believe it was radiology students can earn, I'd like to have you address that question to her, or if you want, you send me an email and I'll get her to respond to you. However you'd like to communicate, we want to get that information to you. But when it comes to health, we want to be accurate and make sure we provide you all the information that is out there. And the other thing too is if you're with a middle schooler, keep in mind that you're about 5 years away or 6 years from graduating. So whatever we're currently doing may be different by the time that your student gets to that age. This certifications actually can change each year. The state of Florida on an annual basis approves, adds and subtracts from this list. So it could be different at the time. But we're really excited that you, the person who asked that question, has an interest in our health science program, because health science is a growing industry. Will continue to grow as more medical advances are made. And so there is high demand for that for sure. So hopefully your student gets into that.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, for being with us tonight. And we will have two more. We have 2 more sessions, one in October and one in November. We're going to be talking about high school. Correct?
Yeah. So just as a commercial for the next time I'll be on here on October 18th, if you'd like to join us, that's just about 4 weeks from tonight. We're going to talk about our post-secondary, our technical colleges. We're going to bring in an expert. So that's if you have a high schooler in your household or you're just curious, want to come back, she's going to talk about our post-secondary technical colleges. And then in November, I believe it's going to be November 15th, we will be back on to talk a little bit more in depth about our high school programs. But it's been great to have you guys here. I really appreciate all the questions. And please send me that email. If you want me to call you, just send me an email with a brief number and your name, and I'll give you a call tomorrow. I'd love to talk.
Thank you so much. And
all right, bye.
We will see you at the next session in October.
Yeah,
Thank you.